Okay, we want to start putting our cams into our simulator and be able to get some measurements from these cams. So you should have already downloaded the simulator package, and we want to go ahead and open that up. So I click open and I'll click simulator and open this up, and you'll see there's a simulator here, and if you turn the crank, the axle will turn, and if there's a cam on there, then this thing would go, up and down like this. Okay, I want to start with this handle up in the air, kind of like this. So we're going to put in our paracam first. So I'm going to click place, and we'll try to find the paracam. There it is, open. You're going to left click, and then you're going to right click and click OK. And we can actually free rotate this cam around. I'm going to try to kind of rotate it around. I want to have kind of this smaller radius up. I want to put the smaller radius kind of up in here. Before we do that, it's really easy if you can kind of make some things invisible. So if I click on the box, or you come over here and click on the box right here, or you could right click on the box, you'll see a visibility. You'll also see that you can do that quickly by doing Alt V. So if I click on the box and I click Option V or Alt V, it'll actually make it invisible. So that's really nice. Okay, so I want to try to constrain this paracam into this simulator, and there's going to be 4 constraints that we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to constrain this top part here and this side over here to this top of this axle and the side of this axle. So I'm going to click constrain, and we're just going to do this regular mate here first. So I'm going to zoom in here and get the top part of that, and zoom over here and get the surface, and I can apply. Okay. All right. And then we hit free rotate here on this. Try to get it so I can see that side. There, I can see the side. And I'm going to click constrain. And I'm going to try to click the inside of that, and I'm going to click this face here. Okay, apply, and I'm going to close this for a second, but you'll notice now, see, this can slide back and forth like this. Okay, I'm going to do another constraint. This time I'm going to do a flush. I'm going to click that second button there. I'm going to do this plane here, and this plane up here, apply that, and you'll see that that made the cam be directly underneath the thing. Alright, we rotate this whole thing so I can see the follower underneath there. I'm going to do what's called a transitional constraint for our 4th and final constraint, and I'll click this bottom of the roller, and I'll click the surface here, and there we go. So if I click back here and I do the handle, I'm just going to go around, and the cam will rotate around and the follower will go up and down. Okay. There is already a constraint in here that's interesting. It's called the I named it as the rotate constraint, and I'm gonna right now it's suppressed, and I suppressed it so that you could actually turn this around and watch this thing go up and down. If I didn't have it suppressed, it wouldn't do that. So if you click this and unsuppress it, you'll see that now I can't turn it. And the reason is because this is called an angle constraint. If you look at that symbol, it's called an angle constraint. Let's edit it so you can see what it is, because you're going to have to be able to know how to put this in later when you do your automata project. So you'll notice the angle constraint is the second thing right here, and then we click this thing here. It's called the directed angle. And then what we did is we selected this plane of the axle and this plane right here, which you can't really tell because the box is invisible, but that's the front edge of the box, and we set it at 0 degrees. So that means that the angle between this plane and this plane is at 0 degrees, which means they're parallel to each other. I could change it to different angles, and then that would change the angle of this plane with relationship to this the front of the box. And the reason we want to do that is because we can actually drive that angle, and we can make this kind of do a simulation of it. So if I come over here and I right click on this rotate thing and I click drive, and I'm going to click these two arrows here and drop down here, you'll see right here that it starts at 0 degrees. This is where it is right now, and we're going to go all the way to 360 degrees. We could do more if we wanted. 360 degrees means it's going to spin this thing around one time. I could do 3,600. That would spin it around 10 times. And then right here is the increment on how many degrees it's going to spin per second. So if you just click play on this, you'll see it went around one time, but it went really fast. So how can I slow it down? Well, I could come here and I could say, let's just go 2 degrees every single second. Now I need to come up here, hit the rewind all the way back to the beginning, and then click the forward again, and there it goes. So it went around one time, 2 degrees per second. So I'm going to hit rewind again. I'm going to come here and I'm going to do 30. And we need to take measurements at every 30. So what I can do is put it on 30, rewind it to 0, and then instead of going forward, I can actually go by steps. So I could do, right now it's on 0 degrees. I could do step, now it's 30, step, 60, step, 90, and that'll help us be able to make our measurements. So how do we make our measurements? We need a ruler, don't we? So we're going to click over here on the ruler, and you don't see it, so you click Alt-V and you'll see that it'll show up. Ruler, Alt-V, there we go. And now let's click to the front. This ruler is already lined up with everything. It's right halfway through your axle, so it's all pretty good. So what I want to do then to get my measurements is I'll right click on the rotate and I'll drive this. And so it's starting on 0 and it's going to go to 360. So right now it's on 0. So you would record this distance here, which is the minimal radial distance from here all the way up to here. So you'd write down that, and you'd write up here the distance all the way up here to the top of the follower for under the 0 degrees. And then you just step it 30 degrees, and you would write down the new measurements, and you see that they haven't really changed much. And then you step it again, still haven't really changed. Step it again, still haven't changed. Step it again, step it again. There we have a change. So at 150 degrees, you'd have two new measurements there. Step it again, it goes up to 180. Now it's the highest up it'll be. And then you step it again, and it went back down. And then you step it again, and it's back down to where it started again, and that'll stay there all the way till 330. To get to your very last step, you actually have to click the very last button to get your last 30 degrees, boom, to 360. And you can write all of those down. So that's how you put a cam in and how you make your measurements. So we're going to do all the rest of these 3 cams so that you can, if you get kind of lost, you can just kind of watch the next video and see how that works. Alright, this time I want to do the hex cam. I still have the paracam in from the last video, and we just want to get it back out of there. So all you have to do is go down to the paracam, right click on it, and delete it. It's not actually deleting the paracam, it's just deleting it out of our simulation because we don't want it in there. So I'm going to click place, and we're going to get the hex cam this time. And left click, right click, OK. And I'm going to try to re-rotate this around a little bit. Okay, I'm going to click constrain. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get this top part of this one. I don't want the sides where the point is up. I want the flat side up. So I'm going to come in here and click that, and then I'll come here and click that and apply that. And then if I can rotate this a little bit so I can get it, see a side there. Probably good enough. I think I can get in there. So I'm going to come in here and get that, and then get this, apply that, and then I'm going to do flush, and I'm going to do this and this and apply that, and then I'll come around underneath I'll do a transitional, get the under thing of that, get one of these faces, apply, and I should have it. The ruler on. Let's just go ahead and go with it. Alt V. Rotate. I'm going to drive this. Sit on the front. Okay. And we're going to go by, so 0 degrees, I would write those things down. And then I would step it 30 degrees, and you see it pops up a little bit. And then it pops back down. And then it goes back up, and this is kind of what happens all over and over. So you'd write down all those things all the way to, there's 330, and then I click one more, and I go to 360, and the whole thing is went all the way around. I can hit rewind, and I can click play, and it would go around really, really fast. Okay, and so that's the hex cam. All right, we're going to do the eccentric cam this time. I've already deleted out the hex cam. So we're going to click place, and we'll go and get the eccentric cam. Left click, right click, okay. Let's see, I want to kind of, let's rotate it around here. Like so. And then we're going to click constrain, and we're doing a mate, and we want this top part, and we want the top part of this axle. Apply that. Then I can go ahead and get that part and this part and apply that. And then I'm going to do a flush, and I'm going to do this one and this one, so it'll line up underneath like so. Then I'm going to twist it a little bit, click transitional constraint, get the inner surface of this and the outer surface of that, apply. And now if I turn this, it should work. Get it on the lowest setting here. Okay, and we'll turn it to the front. We'll come over to ruler, click on the ruler to click Alt V to turn the ruler on. And we'll get it there ready to go. And then come down to your rotate on your axle, your rotate thing, and we need to go ahead and turn off suppressing so that it would go. And then you can right click on it again and click drive. And let's see, do I still have, yeah, 30 degrees. I'm going to set it at, so I can do one step at a time. 30 degrees, and I can write down the radial distance of the cam and also the top of the follower cam. 60, 90, so on. You can see how it's going. We get a big difference, big movement with the eccentric cam. That's why a lot of people like them. And remember, when you get to 330, you click the last step to get to 360, and you can get all your measurements for that. Alright, we're going to do the final cam. We're going to do the snail cam. I've already deleted out the eccentric cam out of here. So we're going to click place. We're going to get the snail cam and turn it, put it left click, right click, okay. What we want to do here is we really want this back edge going back towards the back of the box, because when this thing turns, we want it to be able to come up here and slide off on the thing. So we're going to rotate this around kind of the way we want it, like this. And the first time, this time, what we're going to do is instead of a flush with these two axes, we're going to actually click mate. I've experimented around. This is the only way I can get it to work. So I'm going to mate that plane with that plane first and apply it. Okay, and then I'm going to move that up a little bit, and we're going to mate the top of this with top of the axle. Apply that, and then we're going to kind of try to rotate that out, constrain. We're going to do another mate. So we're not doing any flush this time. We're going to do mates on all of them. That turns it around the right way. Mate that. Apply. Okay. And then we'll try to rotate this whole thing around a little bit. Get a transitional. Get that under part. Get this part. And apply that. Okay. Should be pretty good to go here, I think. So we can let's unsuppress the rotation thing, and then we're going to click the ruler and do Alt V, turn that on, move it onto the front. Okay, and then we will right click the rotate, and we're going to drive, and we're at 0 to 360. We're going by 30, so we're going to do steps. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, and you can see that it's rotating around the correct way, and it gets to 330, and you'll do one more step up to 360, and then you could go all the way back down, reverse it all the way back to 0. And go around again. Okay, so that's the snail cam, and hopefully you got all your measurements.